What's up guys, I'm back with another video today and we're going to be doing the DIND Docker in Docker exploitation in Kubernetes Goat as one of the scenarios. It's the second scenario and I'm going to be posting about all of these scenarios, so stay tuned for that. So let's just get into it. So first let's read the overview. In this scenario we'll be focusing on the common and the standard ways how to build systems and pipelines that leverage container sockets to create, build and run containers. From the underlying container runtime, this has been exploited since the early days of the container ecosystem. And even today we see these misconfigurations use cases in the real world. Just a little image on how it is done. I'm going to do this. By the end of the scenario, we will understand and learn the following. You will learn and test and exploit the container Unix socket misconfigurations, able to exploit container and escape out of the Docker container, learn common misconfigurations in pipelines and CI/CD build systems. This is basically the story. So most of the CI/CD and pipeline systems use the underlying host Docker runtime to build containers for you within the pipeline by using something called a DIND, Docker in Docker, with a Unix socket. Basically what this is, they build a Docker container and in that they'll build another Docker container with a Unix socket. Here in this scenario, we try to exploit this misconfiguration and gain access to the host system by escaping out of the Docker container. I'll just get back to this. So the goal of the scenario is to escape out of the running Docker container to the host system where the container is running and able to access and perform actions on the host machine, so we can use this for further exploitation. So just make sure you spun up your cluster and your pods are ready to run. So we're back now. Basically what you really need to do to access the website is just go to the website, and if it's not popping up for you, it's mainly because you haven't port forwarded it yet. So just do a simple kubectl get pods to see if all of the pods are running, and then what you do after that is go into the Kubernetes Goat repo and just do a simple bash access Kubernetes Goat sh. It's already in the repo, and when you do that, I'll basically port forward it. I've already done this, so you can just do that. It'll take 5 seconds, and yeah, and it will port forward it and go to the website again, and it should start working for you. Then we just need to simple ping your service website, enter your service address, submit, and this gets the response output. So here what we can just do a simple www.google.com to see if it's actually going to ping to the Google service and get a response back, hopefully. And we see in the response output it does ping to Google and we do get a response back. So what we can do now is basically see if this is vulnerable to simple command injection, and what we can do then is try if it is vulnerable to the command injection vulnerability. And we see I'll just do google.com with semicolon ls, and this should basically just list out all the directories which the Docker container is in, and we submit and we see the response output. We see the ping google.com, that's all nice, and if at the end we see there is get the ls back to us, the ls command back, the output of that, and we know this is vulnerable to, I guess you can call it, command injection vulnerability. So now we can just do it normally, ID, and we see we're root here. Now what we can do is try see if we can mount anything. What are the files we can mount? Just paste that, and we can see that the custom docker sock mounted in the file system is there, and we assume it's mounted from the host system, and we need to talk to it for communicating with the Unix socket. So basically, we can use this to communicate with the Unix socket, and we can think it is mounted from the host system. So you can assume it's mounted from the home system, host system. So now what we can do is just do a uname tag A to see what are we in, and we know we're in a Linux. Now what we can do is do a curl command, a wget command to Docker to download Docker, and we can output it somewhere, tm docker. So yep, wget command to install Docker, and you can actually follow along with me through the let me just get it set up through the Kubernetes Goat website. It's all the solutions there, and it's basically the command I copied in. So if you just want to copy that, and we can also tar it later after it has been done. So yep, we just press submit on that, and we're good to go. This will take a while, so I guess just be patient with it. So, yeah. So we're back now. Yeah, it did take a while, and you see we've got the no response output because we're not supposed to get any response output when we wget. So now we're just gonna go ahead and tar the file basically that we just downloaded from wget, and yep, copy that and paste it. And this again is gonna take a bit long too, so just be patient with that and submit. It will take a bit of time, and yep, just be patient with that, I guess. So we see we've got the Docker response, and so now we can just basically copy another thing from the website. And basically what this command does is basically use the Docker binary to first connect to the Unix socket, the Docker socket, and basically images is basically a command used in Docker to just basically pull all the repositories, all the images that you've used or you're running. So just submit this, and this usually doesn't take a lot of time, so just submit that, and we see we got our response back here. Basically all the repositories, images we've used. We're just gonna quickly see. So view page source, let this load, and just scroll down a bit, and we see we've got everything. We've got the repositories, the tags, image ID, when it was created, the size, everything. So this either is just pulled or doesn't look like you can see if it's running or not. No, it doesn't. So we can do the same thing, but instead of images, we can just do version here, and basically see if there is any if the version is outdated, or see if it's if it is outdated, is there any exploits out there to see. And you see here. So basically that is the end of the video, just to see the Docker and Docker exploitation, just to get a grasp of it. And yep, so I hope you guys liked the video, and see you guys next time. See ya.